What else I need to share the stream? All right, hold on. Just checking one more thing. Okay. Copy. And then all right. Okay, so I'll check that later. All right. Sorry about that. Had to play with some other stuff. Actually, let me make sure I have the right. It's not the right page. Okay. All right. Welcome to the stream. Had to set some things up, and then we're ready to start. So I'm David. If you're new to this stream, as most people are, I just started on Twitch. You can feel free to follow me. I would greatly appreciate if you follow me here, or if you're coming over from YouTube, where you can find me on YouTube is hi MPB. Welcome back. Where you can find me on YouTube is Fresh Faces New Ideas, or you can follow me on Twitter at Faces Ideas. What? There's an ant on my shoulder. I think I got it. No. Okay, there's definitely an ant on. Hold on. So that's fun. So I'll kill that when I actually see it. But yeah, there's that. So we got a lot to cover. Got a whole bunch of different stories. We're gonna cover the January 6th thing. They're starting the commission, or they're gonna vote on it this week. So we're gonna just go over what the brief breakdown of the commission is, and then we're going to look at what the breakdown for Kevin McCarthy's response to it, and then Marjorie Taylor Greene had a speech. So there was that. We're going to go over that. Tucker Carlson went after the military because of inclusion. And then Joe Biden had a speech yesterday where he was talking about COVID, and I believe he's talking about us sending some of the vaccines to other countries. All right. Pretty sure I got it that time. That was a big one. Okay. So vaccines, and then the response to that from Jenna Ellis, who apparently was lied about how she got fired in the first place from her job, but she was one of the Alpha Strike team for the Trump people who were pushing the big lie. And she was the one who said that they had a fire hose of evidence that they were just waiting to spray and show people. That never happened. So she went on Newspacks. We're going to see that. And then Madison Cawthorn responded to something that Joe Biden said. I'll point out what exactly that is when we get to it. And then we will have... There was an interesting little piece showing which freshman Congress people have missed the most votes. So we're going to take a look at that, and it's going to be a little shocking who's missed the most votes are. And then let's see what else. What else do I have pulled up for today? We got Joe Manchin and Lisa Murkowski doing the Voting Rights Act. An update on that bridge, the Supreme Court, and then I guess we'll just be chatting away, see what's going on. So, yeah. So from last stream, we went over the Maricopa County stuff. That's actually most of the stream. I was talking to a chatter about that who was arguing about that. But I know for probably tomorrow we're going to go over the Andrew Brown thing. I know the DA just came out with it. I was watching that, but I want to wait for more information to come out, for more of the news articles to actually really update. From what I saw, that they said they're going to not press any charges based on what they said. So we'll go over, break that down. There's when the UFO committee thing comes out, we're going to cover that one because that'll be fun. And then we'll see. Maybe we'll cover Giuliani. I think the Giuliani stuff, and then the Matt Gaetz. There'll probably be more information about what happened with that. So let's get to the first one we're gonna do, and that is going to be a video about Tucker, which is always fun. So we're here. So this is him complaining about diversity in the Army.
New report in Revolver News puts a finer point on what exactly is happening at the Pentagon under Lloyd Austin. Austin has hired an activist type called Bishop Garrison as the head of the military's vast diversity and inclusion apparatus, a group of offices.
Now, keep in mind, people like Tucker think that having a diversity and inclusion apparatus is just pointless. What he wants is just nobody to be. You should be included in the Army because having a sense of like belonging and being part of something is obviously bad. And you can't have diversity because that would require having other people doing things. I mean, look, this is such a stupid argument against things.
It has nothing to do with fighting and winning wars. Just spend 5 minutes Googling Bishop Garrison. Treat yourself. He's a lunatic. A few years ago, he announced that anyone who supports Donald Trump, that would be tens of millions of American citizens, many of whom have served in the military, is a white supremacist. And by the way, he said, there is no room for nuance, quote.
Well, obviously, look, you can find nuance in that quote, but it's a little different than that. You're either a white supremacist who supports him because all the white supremacists did, or you're okay with supporting somebody who's supported by the white supremacists. So as long as you're white supremacy adjacent. But also, I thought white supremacy wasn't a thing or didn't exist or you couldn't quantify it because that's what Tucker said, what was it, like 3 months ago before he was the strongest anti-vaxxer in history. We'll get to that in a minute. And then, let's see. Oh, he was also against women and in the Army because they would get pregnant. So that story was a couple months ago. What happened was they had to make flight suits for the women who got pregnant as they got bigger before they couldn't be able to fly anymore. And his argument is like, why are we wasting our time doing this? This doesn't make sense. And the answer is because it takes a lot of effort to train these people. And they're putting the money into training them. And they're good at their job. So why wouldn't you put the money into keeping them part of the military as long as you can? Like, it doesn't make sense not to have more people in an effective position like this.
On that question, Garrison wrote a lot of things like that. You can Google it. Again, you should. Now, and this is the point, he's one of the most powerful officials in the U.S. military. Democrats in Congress are thrilled as they watch this. Their party now has all the tanks and drones. What's strange is that...
I mean, that is an objectively strange statement. Their party now has all the tanks and drones. I mean, yeah, kind of. But what are you implying there? Are you implying that they're going to use the military in a way that's different than other people usually? Are you implying they're going to use the military against Americans? That's not a thing that happens. Like, what is the point of that statement? It's just to scare people. It doesn't mean anything. So it's okay when Donald Trump has control of the military and the bombs and the drones so that he can go nuke hurricanes. But Democrats want to have a diversity, and that's bad.
Republicans don't seem to have noticed that it happened. They're still giving the same vacuous speeches about the troops, and then, of course, signing off on ever-expanding defense budgets with no oversight. The effect...
So, look, there's two things here. One is, yeah, we have a massive defense budget that we really need more oversight on. We're spending almost $1 trillion a year on just the military. We spend more than the next, 10 countries combined on defense. And from that, we just have this massive machine. Obviously, there's going to be a waste. But it's also implied in that statement that Tucker's not supporting the troops. I thought you supported the troops. So it's only okay to support the troops when they're on your side and when they when you're in charge. But I mean, most of the military has generally been Republican leaning, and then almost all the police are Republican leaning. So it's not like that you don't have whatever fake firepower that you need for whatever scaremongering you're cooking up. It's just that doesn't make sense. So let's continue.
Same fighting force that for generations we have been so proud of, the people who stormed Saipan and Guadalcanal, have been captured without a shot by people who seem like rejects from the Google HR department. And its defenders, the defenders of the troops, can't be bothered to say a word about it.
What do you mean it's been captured? I mean, look, all of this is just like, it's just nonsense fear-mongering. It doesn't actually mean anything. This woke takeover. A lot of what people claim is wokeness, like, yeah, there's absurd wokeness, but like a lot of it is simply just, hey, let them, let women in. Let call people by their preferred pronouns. It's things like that that are just like, they're just against. It's basically just a bit against a lot of what wokeness is just like being okay with other people. It's not a it's the hold on. It's not like a terrible evil blanket term that you should have to worry about, where it's a bad thing. Like, obviously, there's extremes in everything. But like the super woke skulls are just more or less absurd.
Do they have television? Have they seen the Army's latest recruiting ad?
Oh, I haven't covered this, but this this thing is right up there with the CIA's. It's there's a joke among left-leaning people online is it's okay that we do wars in the Middle East now that Biden's in charge because it's a woman piloting the drones, and that's pretty much what this ad is. It's advocating for it's okay that I do all these things in the military because I'm the daughter of a lesbian, I'm a strong woman. And then the CIA had one, and it was yeah, obviously we don't have the Army is the Army. It's controlled by the Joint Chiefs of Staffs. I mean, technically the president is in charge. He's the commander-in-chief. So, but it doesn't change that the Army is like captured. Who captured the Army? Like, what does that mean? The Army has been captured. But anyway, talking about this, like the CIA one is so absurd because she's just like, I'm a strong woman who had a kid, and then I could go overthrow a rising leftist country in Guatemala on my weekends off. But like the whole thing was like, oh look, they're doing it for diversity. But when you look at that, like the people who are mad about it, I'm sure it was some Fox guy who's like, oh well, now we need like James. These aren't like James Bond style people. It's like, if you think about it for a second, the areas that like the CIA ends up going to, they don't look like James Bond. They look like Latin people. They look like the person in that ad. It's not it makes more sense for them to be that. But this is an absurd commercial. I wonder if he plays the entirety of it.
Soldier who operates your nation's Patriot missile defense systems.
Oh, this is literally the joke. It's okay to be bombing people because it's a woman doing it, or it's a gay person doing it. That's literally what they're arguing for.
It begins in California with a little girl raised by two moms. Although I had a fairly typical childhood, took ballet, played violin, I also marched for equality. I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age, a way to prove my inner strength and maybe shatter some stereotypes along the way.
So he doesn't show the whole thing, but it's more of like, rah, rah, I'm a woman, I was raised this way, and now I can go drop bombs on other people. It's all to make liberals happy. Like, it's like stupid pandering to like neolibs who are like, oh yay, I feel less bad that we're dropping bombs on people because it says it's a woke bomb. I'm sure people have seen the. Oh, that reminds me, I want to see the middle ground video, the Jubilee video.
I also march for equality. Oh, shut up. Who cares? Please stop talking about yourself for once. It is boring and irrelevant and insulting. This is not just your country. It belongs to all of us. Your job is to defend it. Please.
Now, look, obviously it makes sense that Tucker would be afraid of diversity. I mean, come on, shut up. This is diverse. Like, look, it took Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed in 2012, around that time. Gay marriage just has been legal for under a decade. These are things that happen because society becomes more accepting. And this idea that it's not your country, it's everyone's country, doesn't apply when Tucker's pushing things like immigrants are dirty, or they're coming to kill you, or they're coming to take away your lifestyle, or they're coming to replace you. Where if you go back, I have a video on this where he's talking about the Great Replacement theory, because his argument is that every time an immigrant comes to America and has a vote, my vote doesn't count anymore, even though that's not how voting works, and also doesn't count for people who turn 18, people who are born, people who die. Like his understanding of just basic thoughts, or just like basically how America works. The America Tucker wants is just a white supremacy. Right, they don't vote anyway. They're not people who vote. There is no proof that they vote. And I if you watch the stream from yesterday, the VOD from yesterday, we talked about this. Ted Cruz was fear-mongering about this for the new act, the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. He was complaining. He was like, "Oh, there's going to be illegal immigrants who are voting." But like, there are people who want to vote who can't vote in America. All the people in D.C., they've voted to be part of America, and we won't let them. Like, literally not letting D.C. be a state is... Yes, obviously, okay, so, yes, in the way that, because there's no change to our system, they're captured by the donors, so that's why we do need to shift to a... instead of a privately financed, a publicly financed version of our government, and that way we can actually put pressure on people. That's why people, like, if you saw it prior to Super Tuesday, Bernie was breaking, like, every fundraising number. He was leading everyone. He basically just did it all through grassroots movement. Like, the American people, when they find a person that they like, they're going to gather around him. Now, obviously, there's other circumstances that happen. That's why Bernie's not president, but... yeah, we do have things to fix it. So, look, Tucker is, look, this is actually kind of a surprise from Tucker. I'm happy he took time out of promoting straight up white nationalism or anti-vax stuff to complain about wokeness. But it's also worth remembering when Tucker talks about these like big multinational corporations or the elites, he was, before he came into being the most watched television host in the country, the heir to the Swanson food fortune. So he has been like part of the rich and powerful his whole life. So it's all made up stuff, and I'm hoping it doesn't end up leading him to run in 24. There's a fear of that, and the problem is he has the platform to bill himself. He has the time now to start going after the people who would potentially run against him, whether it is Tom Cotton, Josh Hawley. I think at this point the biggest threat to him would be DeSantis, and they can go after he can go after DeSantis pretty well. So for anyone who's new to the chat, because I haven't said this in a while, you feel free to follow me here. You can also find the other videos that I've done on YouTube at Fresh Faces New Ideas, or you can follow me on Twitter at Faces Ideas. So let's go to the next video. Hold on. Twitch 2. So the next video is, okay, this is President Biden. He's talking about, he's just giving a COVID update, and this is part of him pushing for more. So what happened is they're going to give out some of our excess vaccines to other countries. And this is good. So this is good on two levels. It's good because it's an example of soft power, because a part of what China and Russia are doing is they're helping some of these poor countries. Like some of these countries in Africa, they don't expect to be 50% vaccinated until 2024. So by giving them this, we can pressure them a little bit more to do things, which, I'd rather do soft power than hard power, but it's an expansion of our power to counter the other expansion of the other countries that we're against. The other thing is, it's the right thing to do to give these vaccines to other countries. Whether we're giving it to people because for virtuous reasons or not, having more countries vaccinated would allow us to have a larger amount of protection. Because the more countries that aren't vaccinated, the more the virus spreads and the more it mutates. And eventually, it's going to hit a point where it could overload the vaccines that we have, and then we're right back where we started. So we should be giving the vaccines. Obviously, we have enough for every American to get some. I think we have at least twice as much of that. The problem is what we're currently doing is trying to break through to people who don't want to get it. And we'll talk about that after this video. But the vaccines we're sending, we're sending them, obviously, our AstraZeneca stuff. I don't know why we have AstraZeneca. It's not even, we don't even use it here. The Johnson & Johnson one seems like a good one to be sending to some of these countries because it's quick and it's easy, and it'll start getting them up to date. So let's just see what Biden has to say.
Good afternoon. There are three things I want to speak briefly today with you all about. The new milestone in our progress against COVID-19 here at home, steps we're taking to fight COVID internationally, and an important tax cut for families with children under the age of 18. And that's where I'm going to start. Today is tax day, when everyone's taxes are due. No one likes to pay taxes, I know. But my dad used to say it's a small price to live in this country.
Speaking of no one likes to pay taxes, he is. This was yesterday, so he is pushing for $80 billion to beef up the IRS, and by beefing up the IRS, the projected return for that is to go after people who don't pay the percentage of their taxes that they should, and the projected return of that is $720 billion. So it's about a 10-to-1 return. So that would certainly help the country.
But I want to tell everyone with children why, as they're filing their taxes today, they should know that a new tax cut will be coming their way for working class and middle class folks, and very soon.
It's also worth remembering, right before every election, Donald Trump kept saying that there was going to be a giant middle class tax cut, and it just never amounted to anything. Because he was just lying, because they knew that the actual tax cut that they didn't help any Americans except for the wealthy.
As everyone knows, we firmly believe the need to make our tax system work for the middle class. That's why I think we should ask corporations in the top 1% to start paying their fair share, and why we should crack down on millionaires and billionaires who escape taxes by cheating. But I also think we need to give ordinary families a tax break, to help them with the cost of raising their kids. Most people don't know it, but for families with children, we put that tax cut into the American Rescue Plan, which was signed not long ago. And I signed the tax.
So this is also something that needs to be said over and over again, is that they put this into the plan. So every American who gets this tax cut should only thank Democrats, because not a single Republican voted to give this to you. Also, because they made this only a year, they could use this as a bludgeon against the Republicans, because they're going to say, look, we did this last year. We're going to try to make it permanent. That's part of it's not the jobs bill. It's the American. What are we chatting? We're chatting to Joe Biden, and then we're talking about the tax credits right now.
tax cut into law in March, 90% of the families, all middle class and working class families, will get this tax cut. It's a 1-year cut that reduces your taxes by $3,000 a year for each child you have under the age of 18. 2 kids, it's a $6,000 tax cut. And if those kids are under the age of 6, you'll actually get $3,600 per child. So, as you file your taxes today, know that your tax cut is coming. But here's the great news. You won't have to wait until your next year's tax return to get that break. I'm announcing today that on July 15th and the 15th of every month thereafter throughout the year, you will get deposited in your bank account half of your tax cut, at least $250 per child each month, a direct deposit into your account. So if you're
Why should they pay more taxes? They already have they already are the ones who are stimulating the economy because they're putting more money. They shouldn't pay. If you're not supporting a kid, you should pay more taxes. You have the money, you're just supporting a single person versus somebody who's supporting a kid. A kid can't support themselves unless you're advocating for child labor laws to remove them. They're the people who have kids, they're the ones who go to grocery stores to buy the food for the kids. They're the ones who have to go to all the stores because especially if you have a baby, babies grow so fast that you have to buy their clothes all the time. They're the ones who go to the doctors all the time, the pediatricians. Now, if anything, you're basically supporting a little parasite that can't help support itself. It's more expensive to have a kid. And God forbid you're actually trying to send that kid to fucking college. That's going to run you God knows how much. Yes, I understand you buy food. Everybody buys food, but you're buying it for you. You're not buying it for more people, and those people aren't contributing to help you do that.
Family with 2 kids, you're going to get $500 a month into your bank account on the 15th of every month starting July. We're getting and we are getting you a tax cut this year now when you need it and not have to wait.
I don't know what Tesco's is, but it's still it still doesn't make sense. They already have to pay more anyway just for having a kid. They're not gonna. It doesn't make sense for them to pay more taxes. But the good thing of what he just said was that they're going to do it monthly. So there was while they were trying to figure out how this was going to go out, it would they were questioning whether you'd get like 3 months sum and then it would wait for a couple months, but they're going to do it monthly. So that's a good thing for people to know.
And if you get your tax cut refund deposited in your bank account automatically, this tax cut will be put into your account automatically. If not, it will be mailed to you. In addition to helping Americans hard-pressed and working families, experts have told us this will cut child poverty in America in half. This tax cut sends a clear and powerful message to American working families with children. Help is here. Now let me talk to another milestone on a long battle with COVID. Today, for the first time since the pandemic began, pandemic cases are down in all 50 states. First time. That's right. Thanks a lot to the hard.
Yeah, maybe. It looks like DeJoy might get removed soon, but I mean, you'll get stuff late. I just got my stimulus recently. But it does sound like they're sending it out. Part of the reason, like, they passed this in March, so they had to figure out how to do this. So I imagine they have a pretty good sense of who's going to qualify for it, and who gets. And if it's with your taxes, if you file your taxes online, then it's just going to be deposited anyway. And if it's and if you have to mail your tax stuff in, then they'll just mail it back. So it's not like you're not going to get the money. And I imagine there might be some hiccups. And then there may be a story or two about it, but this is a massive new tax stuff. So I imagine generally, so what the Biden administration has been very good at so far is just logistical stuff. So having this as a logistical thing, I don't think is going to be a huge problem.
so many people, COVID cases are down in all 50 states. Now, I can't promise that will continue this way. We know there will be advances and setbacks, and we know that there are many flare-ups that could occur. But if the unvaccinated get vaccinated, they will protect themselves and other unvaccinated people around them. If they do not, states with low vaccination rates may see those rates go up, may see this progress reversed. Ultimately, those who are not vaccinated will end up paying the price.
Now, we're going to pause it here for a second because this quote, those who are unvaccinated are ultimately going to pay the price, is what we're going to see these two repeat. Also, I want to just point this out. This is a little later, but the biggest skeptics are white evangelicals. They're 40% say they're not likely to get the vaccine. When you don't get the vaccine, what happens is that you're just basically hurting yourself at this point. So contrary to what Tucker Carlson has straight up said, so Tucker Carlson has gone the farthest of any anti-masker ever. He has said that the vaccine, he straight up said the vaccines don't work. And then he lied about how many people died he misconstrued the evidence of people who died. I think the total number I was talking with somebody is about 200 who have died from COVID since they got the vaccine. Keep in mind, we've given out it's not a threat. How is it a threat? First off, it's not a threat because of the next sentence, but that's the undeniable truth. If you do not get vaccinated, you will pay the consequences because you're going to be the one who gets sick. They don't shed anything that makes people infertile. But if you get the vaccine, depending on which one you get, you're going to be somewhere between 60 and 95% protected against COVID. And even if you get it, you're more likely to have a mild to light case of it. You're much less likely to die. It's not a threat to the American people. It's a statement based in fact. And furthermore, here's the next sentence.
The vaccinated will continue to be protected against severe illnesses, but others may not be if you're not vaccinated.
That's the statement. If you're vaccinated, you will be protected. Yeah, he has to wear a mask, partly because he's not wearing a mask right now. He was wearing a mask, and I understand, and I think if you were here yesterday, you know I've talked about that. I don't agree with how the CDC rolled this out, especially recently. Part of the reason that he had to wear masks is because there was a lot of Americans who would not wear them. So he was trying to set an example. In the same way that when Donald Trump didn't wear a mask, millions of Americans looked at that and said, okay, well, if the president's not going to wear one, I'm not going to wear one. But he's right on this. They're not scaring you into this. It's a simple fact. The only person you hurt by not getting vaccinated is you. You don't have to be scared about it. That's just the basic fact. And yeah, I mean, if you're... All right, I'm going to just keep going and you guys can worry about who's scared.
But given that the vaccination is convenient and free, it'll be a tragedy and a needless one to see COVID cases among those who do not get vaccinated go up. We're not done fighting this virus. We still have tens of millions left to vaccinate. But we are making significant progress. In fact, when tomorrow's vaccination numbers come out, they'll show that 60% of the Americans have received at least one shot. Every day, the light at the end of that tunnel has grown brighter. This vaccination effort has been a historic logistical achievement for our nation. And I want to thank the scientists and the researchers, the companies manufacturing the vaccines, the National Guard, the U.S. military, FEMA, the nation's governors, doctors, nurses, pharmacists. And I want to thank the American people who have stepped up and done their patriotic duty and gotten vaccinated. In less than 4 months, we've gone from less than 6% to 60% of adults in America with at least one shot.
So the biggest thing that we could take away from this massive vaccine distribution is perfect. We are perfectly capable of having a healthcare system that is better. We are perfectly capable of having a healthcare system where it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg every time you have to go get healthcare. We just proved it. You can go to the doctor and get treatments for free. We can officially do vaccines. We can officially do these things for free. The government can pick up the tab on these. That's what Medicare for All is.
We're seeing the results in we're seeing the results in people's lives and in their livelihoods. Deaths are down from COVID by 81%, and also at their lowest level since April of 2020. As a result of our prompt action to roll out the vaccine and boost the economy, we've gone from stagnation to an economy that is growing faster than it has in nearly 40 years. We've gone from anemic job creation to a record of creation for a new administration. None has ever created this many jobs in this time frame.
Look, I've talked about this before. Part of the reason these numbers are so high is because the bottom was so low. When he came into office, we were down like 20 million jobs. So the fact that he got 1.4 million back so far looks like a historic number because it is, but it's not, it's just still digging your way out.
Progress is undeniable, but we're not done yet, and some of the hardest work is ahead. We're still losing too many Americans, and we still have too many unvaccinated people in America. Last week, the CDC announced that if you're fully vaccinated, you no longer have to wear a mask. They reported that the science now shows that your vaccination protects you as well as being masked or better than being masked. So you can protect yourself from serious illness from COVID by getting vaccinated or wearing a mask until you're fully vaccinated. Either way, you're protected. As I said last week, some people may want to continue to wear masks, even if they are fully vaccinated. That's a decision they can make. Some businesses may want to continue to require wearing masks. Let's all be kind and respectful to one another as we come out of this pandemic and respect the...
Look, that's the key thing. Because they've removed their mask mandate, people may still want to wear masks. Or businesses may require masks. Because there is no universal mask mandate, businesses can require you to wear masks. So if you go to a business and they say, hey, please put on a mask, don't have a fucking panic attack. Don't be like, you're breaking my freedoms or HIPAA or whatever the fuck you're complaining about. They're allowed to ask that of you in the same way they have to ask you to wear a shirt and shoes. It's the same difference. I mean, if you can't put on a piece of cloth over your face to go food shopping, you're a sad little baby. And I hope you can find somebody else to change your diaper.
Those who want to continue to wear a mask, even if they've been vaccinated. Above all, let's work together, though, to meet the target I've set of 70% of adults, all adults, with at least one shot by July the 4th. 7 states have already done this. Getting vaccinated has never been easier. We are 80,000 locations where you can get a shot. 90% of you live within 5 miles of one of those locations. You can now find a vaccine site near you by texting your zip code to 438829. 438829. Your zip code and that number.
So if anyone's in the chat not vaccinated, go figure that out.
Require an appointment. Just walk in and get the shot. It's free, and everyone 12 years and above is eligible. If you need help getting your vaccine site, getting to or from your vaccination site, Lyft and Uber are offering free rides to take you to the vaccination site and bring you back home between May 24th and July the 4th to anyone who wants to get vaccinated.
That's actually a really good thing. Like, I mean, there is like no reason you should be able to get to vaccinate unless you like medically one of those people who has an issue with vaccines in general, or you have a lot of underlying issues where they said, hey, maybe this isn't the right thing for you to get. in which case you should be wearing a mask, you should get a vaccine. It's free. To get the vaccine is free. It takes like an hour to sign up, depending on how many locations are near you. I know it took me like an hour and a half to find a location, just because when I signed up was like right the hour that it opened up for my age group. But other than that, it's like you just hurt yourself if you don't get vaccinated.
And I've called on employers to do their part as well, offering their employees paid time off to get vaccinated. And we've set up a program nationally to reimburse those businesses for the cost of giving employees the time off. Now it's time to get your shot. We have the vaccine. We've secured enough supply to vaccinate all adults and children above the age of 12. I repeat, now's the time to get your vaccine shot. Now, over the past 118 days, our vaccinations program has led the world. And today, we're taking an additional step to help the world.
No. So, look, the my body, my choice thing is different, because we're going to go over the abortion. When you're legislating for an abortion, it's a single person issue. When you're arguing about the mask, especially when we started this argument of, I don't have to wear a mask because it's my body, my choice. If this disease only affected you, then it would be fine. You're fine to not wear a mask. And it is about, look, you have a choice. The choice is simple. You get vaccinated, and then that protects you. Depends on, okay, vaguely, yeah. Depending on, we're going to talk about abortions when we talk about the Supreme Court. It depends on when you clarify what a baby is. Also, if the mother is going to die without having the abortion anyway, but it's not the same, because the abortion, if you don't get an abortion, you have the baby. But if you don't wear a mask and you get the virus, you could potentially spread it to other people and kill them. So it's how wide is the ripple effect. And also, the government... No, look. You have the choice. I do see the kind of hard. I'm proving you wrong right now. It's a very simple thing. You have a choice to wear a mask or not. It's a stupid choice not to wear one if you are not vaccinated, because you're putting yourself and the other people who think like you at risk. But it's also the same thing for if you go into a private company and they say you have to wear a shirt. Do you not wear a shirt? Is that your body, your choice to not wear a shirt to go into Starbucks? They have a right to kick you out. It's the same thing. This is not like the abortion debate, because the government is not getting in your business to tell you how you have to live your life. That's the difference. And also, it's not about your reproductive, because if you're against abortion, well, when we get to this, there's a whole lot of other ways to get pregnant there are ways to get pregnant that aren't on purpose and aren't good, and there should be exceptions made for that. For the mask, wearing the mask has no downside.
We'll never be fully safe until the pandemic that's raging globally is under control. No oceans wide enough, no walls high enough to keep us safe. Rampant disease and death in other countries can destabilize those countries, and pose a risk to us as well. New variants could arise overseas that could put us at greater risk.
Well, we're going to talk about it because the Supreme Court is coming up. And I'm pretty sure I answered your question pretty effectively. It's not the same, because one of them is mandating how your body lives, and that there is a potential downside to it. There's no downside to wearing a mask. It's whether or not it's the same thing as basically putting on a shirt.
To keep us safe here at home and to do the right thing of helping other people. It's the right thing to do. It's the smart thing to do. It's the strong thing to do. In March, we shared over 4 million doses of our AstraZeneca vaccine with Canada and Mexico. At the end of April, we announced that we would provide another 60 million doses of our AstraZeneca vaccine overseas.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know why we have any AstraZeneca supplies at all. Just send all of it out. It's not. I don't even know if it's in talks for the CDC to make it authorized for the American people. There's nobody I've ever heard of who's like, you know what, I want the AstraZeneca one. Just send AstraZeneca to everybody, and then send the excess to people. And look, if at this point there's going to come a point where there's no point in us hoarding all of this vaccine, because the people who are going to get vaccinated are going to get vaccinated, and everyone else is going to decide that they just don't care about their fellow person.
Remember, this is the vaccine that's not authorized for use in the United States yet, so we're going to be sending it to folks once the FDA has reviewed this and said it's safe. This is all the AstraZeneca vaccine produced in the United States. All of it will be sent to other countries.
Yeah, that's exactly what
today, I'm announcing they will also share U.S. authorized vaccine doses of Pfizer and Moderna and Johnson & Johnson as they become available with the rest of the world as well.
Yeah,
these are vaccinations and vaccines that are authorized to be put in arms of Americans. And by the end of June, when we will have taken delivery of enough of such vaccines to protect everyone in the United States will share at least 20 million of those doses, that extra supply, with other countries. This means over the next 6 weeks, the United States of America will send 80 million doses overseas. That represents 13% of the vaccines produced by the United States by the end of June. This will be more vaccines than any country has actually shared to date, 5 times more than any other country, more than Russia, China, which have donated 50.
Yeah, it's definitely good that we're giving more vaccines than Russia, because I don't think the Sputnik one works at all. They said it was who has the Sputnik? I think it's Russia and Brazil, I think, have Sputnik. And Brazil's not doing too good, so I don't think Sputnik works.
15 million doses. You know, there's a lot of talk about Russia and China influencing the world with vaccines. We want to lead the world with our values.
Partly. So that's ultimately what it is. Because the government's not mandating that you wear a mask. The mask mandates are almost all pretty much gone. If at this point, the only time you're really going to wear a mask is whether you personally want to. Like, there's going to be situations where I wear a mask, or if you go to a private business that says you have to wear one. But it's not the same as the abortion talk, because the abortion is directly affecting how your body is, and the mask has no effect on your body.
This demonstration of our innovation and ingenuity and the fundamental decency of the American people. Just as in World War II, America was the arsenal of democracy in the battle against COVID-19 pandemic, our nation is going to be the arsenal of vaccines for the rest of the world. We'll share these vaccines in the service of ending the pandemic everywhere. And we will not use our vaccines to secure favors from other countries. We'll work with COVAX, the international organization set up, and other partners to ensure that the vaccines are delivered in a way that is equitable and that follows the science and the public health data. Today's announcement to share 80 million doses is our next step as we ramp up the efforts to respond to COVID-19 around the world. In the weeks ahead, working with the world's democracies, we'll coordinate a multilateral effort to end this pandemic. I expect to announce progress in this area at the G7 summit in the United Kingdom in June, which I plan on attending. This is a unique moment in history, and it requires American leadership. But I want to be clear. Beating this pandemic globally is beyond the capacity of any one nation, even the United States. But we will continue, the United States will continue to donate our excess supply as that supply is delivered to us. But that won't be nearly enough. What we need to do is lead an entirely new effort, an effort that involves working with the pharmaceutical companies and others and partner nations to vastly increase supply to create.
And one way they could do this is by getting rid of the IP. I know there is a there's a doctor on Twitch. I don't remember his name who's talked about this a lot, and I think he's a much better source than I am for it. I'll check if he's on later.
Most of it here in the United States, the kind of capacity that can beat this pandemic worldwide in a way that creates jobs here at home and saves lives abroad. This will take longer than our immediate work to donate from the existing supplies. And we're going to be asking other nations to help shoulder the economic cost of this effort. But the consequences will be more lasting and more dramatic. Doing this will help us beat the pandemic and leave us with a manufacturing capacity here to prepare for the next crisis, the next vaccine needed. I'm putting Jeff Zients, who is leading our COVID team and the COVID efforts to beat the virus here in the United States, in charge of this effort. Jeff will be working with our National Security Council and a talented, dedicated team that has been stood up all across our government. It'll include...
No, he does, look, I don't take offense. He wasn't my first choice. The dude does stutter. He does look like he's kind of melted. But it is hard to read. No, he's not senile. He's not senile. That's absurd. He's actually, if you compare him to now to where he started with the debates, he's vastly better. But look, between the stutter and just reading off a teleprompter, that shit is not... I can't do that shit. He's not senile. He's not. Look, Donald Trump couldn't speak English either.
The State Department leading in diplomacy and experts from our Agency of International Development and the Department of Health and Human Services as well. We're going to bring the same whole-of-government response to the global effort that made us so successful here at home. Again, we have enough... the United States, has secured enough supply for all eligible Americans, all Americans 12 years old and older. And we still have work to do, though, hard work. But because we have done so much here, because of the power of American companies, research, and manufacturing, we can continue to do more to help the rest of the world. This is a rapidly changing world.
All right, so we're going to just move on to the next one. So this is Jenna Ellis is she's one of the former lawyers for the Trump campaign. I don't even know if she's still technically a lawyer. She was one of the elite strike force people. She's talking to one of the guys on Newsmax. Let's see what she has to say, though. Jesus.
All right, welcome back tonight on America First. As all 50 states report a decline in COVID cases for the first time, President Biden issues another ultimatum for those pesky unvaccinated people.
Ultimately, those who are not vaccinated will end up paying the price.
See,
comes after Biden.
This is the other thing. When you see things like this, yeah. So, look. So what happened during... I don't know where Newsmax came from. So the people who are on Newsmax are like Fox rejects, and then they're like the people on OAN. They're just like further right and just crazier. I remember right before. Oh, was he? Yeah, that's perfect. They're like Fox rejects. They're like, when you can't cut it on Fox, you go to like Newsmax. This was, was it right before the Matt Gaetz stories broke? He was considering going to Newsmax. Is Sean Spicer on Newsmax or is he on OAN? Either way, I see their commercials. These people are just wild, man.
Dictated in a tweet on Friday, the rule is now simple: get vaccinated or wear a mask until you do. For more on this, we're going to bring in former.
So look, what they're going to say is that he's being tyrannical, but we saw the clip. I showed it to you. I kind of forgot that's what they did. They cut him off at the next sentence. The sentence he said was, "If you're not vaccinated, you should not watch them." The only time you should see a clip from Newsmax or OAN is when they say something horrendous that you have to understand that that's what they're feeding to the base of the GOP, or they're just saying something that's just outright crazy and that you have to be aware of. Because a lot of I figured you watch Fox. You missed my Tucker statement. But we'll talk about that. So I just want to bring up Jenna Ellis for a little bit.
Jenna Ellis. Jenna, good to see you.
Great to see you too, Rob.
So what do you make of the big flip last week? I mean, a lot of people talking about, they said one thing about COVID, they flipped it completely, and now they're doing this big carrot stick thing where, you get to take off your mask if you get vaccinated. What do you make of the whole approach?
Well, it absolutely sounds like a threat, and the American people don't respond well to threats and intimidation, especially from our own government. Let's be honest. We the people of...
No. So if he was just grifting, I would let him. Dave Rubin is a grifter. Tucker Carlson is an outright danger to the country. At some point, grifting stops becoming cute when you have the type of audience and the type of things that he says. When he's outright supporting white supremacy, or like I'm telling you, the most anti-vax statement ever made came from Tucker Carlson. Yeah, that doesn't mean he was good from MSNBC either. The Sam Cedars always talk about that. He has no morals. Tucker Carlson has zero morals. He's going to say whatever he wants to get him whatever viewership he needs. That doesn't make him better. It's a problem.
The United States, and we understand that our government is supposed to represent us, not supposed to dictate to us. And so if the Biden administration really wants to incentivize people to get the vaccine, they're going to need an approach that's common sense. It makes sense. It's not arbitrary. And the Biden administration's entire approach to COVID has been nothing more than a dictatorship. And
okay, look, that's about where we're going to listen to this. I don't want to listen to more of this because a lot of this is asinine. But look, the Biden administration. All right. So, since you appear to be popping up a lot, and yeah, I don't know if you've checked out my YouTube channel. I'm going to break down the three major networks. Obviously, all of them have their own leaning. Fox is obviously right. MSNBC is considered left, but it's not left. What it is corporate. So it's for whatever it's whatever the corporate interests are for the main companies. That's what MSNBC is. So they do have some pretty bad, but Tucker is, look, if he didn't have the platform that he did and he was on like Newsmax or something, it would be fine. But because he's not, he's a dangerous person. The things he says actively get people killed. They did a study on this. They found that people who watched Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson at the start of the pandemic were more likely to get COVID than people who didn't. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen more videos of people getting attacked for wearing a mask because of what he said. Now, on to this. Look, the Biden administration has been like, look, please go get vaccinated. We can't make it any easier for you. At this point, if you don't want to get vaccinated and you're not one of those people who has a medical reason to not get vaccinated, you're being selfish. You don't get to say, oh, I don't want to wear a mask, but I don't want to get vaccinated either. You have to do one or the other because that's how we're going to beat this thing. The girl on the hill. I don't know who that is. I don't know who you're referring to. Anyway, we're going to talk about... Oh, you're talking about Crystal Ball. Yeah, Crystal Ball is interesting. I used to watch The Rising during the primary. She's an interesting lefty. I don't like Saagar. Saagar's it's basically just parrots a lot of Tucker talking points. They're a very strange show. I know Kyle Kalinske is good friends with Cristobal, and I have a lot of respect for what Kyle's done. So we're going to look at Madison Cawthorn. So Madison Cawthorn says Biden is now inferring that there will be consequences for people who don't vaccinate. Medical circumstances, individual freedom are blatantly disregarded under this administration. So I don't think he's unknown. I think the Hill has gotten a lot of, especially when it started, it got a lot of play. Because, you don't, kind of. So when it started, it got a lot of play because it was seen as like, oh, there's still, bipartisanship. We don't agree, but, we can be civil. I honestly don't. I think he used to be a White House reporter, and then he works for the Hill. He's a Republican. He's a Republican. He pretty much parrots Tucker Carlson's talking points, basically from the last time I saw. Yeah, if you watch the Hill, they basically just play Tucker Carlson clips, and that's what he parrots. He's a fake right wing populist. That's what he's supposed to be. So look, I'm gonna be, maybe it's changed. I haven't watched it since basically Bernie dropped out of the primaries because that's when it started getting really weird. But he's a right wing populist from the last I remember. Yeah, it's very clickbaity. But I just don't care anymore. So look, Madison Cawthorn is saying this is a threat. They're obviously not taking the second part of this. But here's the thing about Madison Cawthorn that you should know. By the numbers, call congressional attendance. Congressional freshman with the most missed votes. Number 1, Madison Cawthorn. 16% of votes. Now, there's a reason Madison Cawthorn has missed 16% of the votes. And it's not because of this argument. So, there have been about 144 roll call numbers. I was trying to find more data on this. This is about as close as I could actually get to the exact data. But he's missed 16% of that. And the reason he's missed that is because Madison Cawthorn is not there to... Oh, are they? Yeah, look, I think when they started, they had pretty good viewership because of they were like this new interesting idea, and then I think as people came to realize what they were, their viewership should up because they were I imagine they had a lot of MSNBC viewers, type of viewers. I know they had Sean Head on to talk about the insurrection. So look, Madison Cawthorn has missed 16% of the votes, 6th among all other members, both House and Senate, in terms of missed votes. So the fact that and he's a freshman, these people are missing votes is a problem. So for the House Democrat who's missed, it's Jamal Bowman who's 14th on the list at 2.8%, which isn't good. I like Jamal Bowman a lot. And then for the senators, it's Cynthia Loomis. But the reason Cynthia Loomis has missed these votes is because of the blizzard that hit Wyoming. So I imagine she got stuck there, or she was helping out, or basically doing the opposite of what Ted Cruz is. But the reason Madison Cawthorn doesn't show up to vote is because he's not there to legislate. Madison Cawthorn doesn't really have a legislative team. He has a communications team because his whole thing is just to build an image of what somebody wants. And look, to be fair to him, it is impressive that he actually won his district. He is the youngest person. He's like there. You cannot be younger than Madison Cawthorn and be in Congress. He's like as young as you possibly can be. You have to be 25 to be a congressperson. He just turned 25 in the middle of his campaign. I mean, everything else he's talked about is basically a lie. He's a fraud about every single thing he's done. But he's there just to make Twitter statements and punch trees, which I still don't understand why he did that. But that's worth noting. So if you're in North Carolina's 11th, I'm actually going to save this for the next time I see him tweet. If you're in North Carolina's 11th, you should know your congressperson has missed almost a fifth of all the votes in Congress. And look, they work for 15 minutes a day sometimes. when the second impeachment happened, Nancy Pelosi called a voice vote, or a unanimous consent vote, and they were done within like 5 minutes, and that was all they did that day. They were done at like 9:10, and then there was like a week where Marjorie Taylor Greene just kept trying to shut down the government at like 9:10. So, look, this is the reason they're probably missing votes in a large part is they're talking to their donors. So let's talk about some actual legislation. Let's actually before that I'm gonna plug myself a little bit. So if you're new to the channel, please hit me with a follow if you like what I say, or you want to keep up and then just argue with me later. Because as you can clearly see, for anyone who's not actually talking, I'll talk to anybody. Whether I actually call you in, that'll come later. As I basically, I think I have to set up a Discord to do that. I'm still new to Twitch, so I don't know all the tech stuff for it. But yeah, follow me here. You can find more of my videos. I have like 120 on YouTube, and that's on Fresh Faces New Ideas. Or you can follow me on Twitter, for Fresh Faces New Ideas. So let's go back to this other. Let's go back to the news because we got some stuff. So Joe Manchin and Lisa Murkowski are going to push for them jump-starting a debate to reauthorize the Voting Rights Act, and it's as simple as this. When this doesn't get passed because it gets blocked by the filibuster, they should just kill the filibuster. I mean, this is like, at some point, Joe Manchin is going to have to take a stand and decide what's an acceptable amount of work to be done. Because he has to know that the only way he's going to stay in power is if they pass something along the lines of the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, or H.R. 1, or S.R. 1, or all three. So just for his own political safety, he should be pushing for these bills as well. And I don't know when that's going to happen. I imagine once this bill fails and then they whatever ends up passing with the infrastructure bill, he'll move on. But let's move on to the infrastructure. So the inspector who did the 2019-2020 inspections for the bridge, they fired him, which they should have, because here is what the pictures of that bridge look like. This was the 2019 crack, and this was it in 2021. So this is the push for why we need this infrastructure bill. It's for people to not have to deal with this type of shit, because this has cost thousands of dollars in work hours. There was like 1,000 barges that couldn't go on at this bridge because of this crack. So we actually need to put money into the infrastructure bill in order to fix the infrastructure, because it's an economic boom in order to help the country. So let's very briefly talk about the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court they're going to rule on the Mississippi law. So the Mississippi law says that you cannot have a abortion after 15 weeks, which I believe is before most women know that they're pregnant. And it also says the only medical emergencies are cases where there's severe fetal anomaly. So I imagine that's when the mother's life is in danger or the baby's not going to make it. But it doesn't allow it for instances of rape or incest. So this is DFK, GF. When you were talking about abortion, this is one of the differences. You can get pregnant through no fault of your own, whether it's rape or incest, and you don't have to carry that child. But if you wear a mask, then it's not an issue, because you're not going to have to. You're not going to get like sick. The masks are different from that. So look, there's a good chance that they rule in favor of this, and that's going to be a major issue for Roe v. Wade. And here's the thing: making abortion illegal will not stop abortions. Just like making drugs illegal did not stop people from using drugs. That's not how things work. Or in Austin, Texas, they made being homeless illegal. Are there no more homeless in Austin, Texas? No, that's not how it works. So the way it works would be, if you killed Roe v. Wade and there's the 17 states, I think, with the trigger laws, you would not be able to have safe abortions. What you would cause is more people to die trying to get abortions, except for the rich and powerful, because they're going to get them anyway. So this is just about controlling people. Because the goal here is... Oh, hold on. Oh. Okay, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. With abortions, you could control women because you trap them in a cycle of poverty then if you don't help support them. So I think abortion should be legal. And now here's my caveat for all of this. I also believe in the science. I don't believe that this 15-week abortion heartbeat bill is good. And the reason I believe it is because it's not a heartbeat. It's basically just electrical impulses that they can test because we have better equipment. So here's my cutoff for where abortions are. If the baby can be removed from the mother and incubated and survive, then it's a person. Before that, it's not a person. In the cases of rape or incest, the mother should have the ability to the mother should have the ability to get rid of it. I don't think the government should have to say this. And so now we're going to talk about the January 6th Commission, and this will probably be the hold on. Okay, we'll see what that guy says. So they're going to vote on this tomorrow or Friday. I'm not entirely sure when. So basically, this is the basic key features of the January 6th Commission bill is. So it says the commission will be charged with investigating and reporting upon the facts and causes of the January 6th attack on the Capitol, as well as the influencing factor that may have provoked the attack on our democracy. Examining and evaluating evidence developed by the relevant federal, state, and local governments in a manner that is respectful of ongoing investigations regarding the facts and circumstances of the attack, building upon other investigations regarding the attack and targeting violent and domestic terrorism related to such attacks, reporting to the President and Congress regarding its findings, conclusions, and recommendations for corrective measures taken to prevent future acts of targeted violence and domestic terrorism. So look, what this says is they're going to they're just going to look into January 6th. So like the 9/11 Commission, this commission establishes a 10-person bipartisan commission with 5 commissioners, including the chair appointed by the Speaker of the House and the Majority Leader of the Senate, and 5 commissioners who are appointed by. So it's 5 and 5. The person who leads is going to be appointed by the Democrats. The vice chair is going to be appointed by the Republicans. Commissioners must have significant expertise in the areas of law enforcement, civil rights, civil liberties, privacy, intelligence, cybersecurity. This is the important part. Current government officers or employees are prohibited from appointment. Now, this is the other thing. And then I'm going to talk about this. Like the 9/11 Commission, the Commission will be granted authority to issue subpoenas to secure information to carry out its investigation, but only upon agreement between the chair and the vice chair or by a vote by a majority of the Commission members. Now, the 2 things that are important in this. One is that it's not by people who are currently in government. So that means the Republicans can't put like Louis Gohmert or Paul Gosar or Marjorie Taylor Greene or Jim Jordan or Matt Gaetz onto this commission. And the reason that's important is because they're the ones who are going to mess this up and make it so it's not an effective commission. The other thing I have an issue with is I think that should there be a 50-50 vote, the chair should be able to overrule and send out the subpoena. And I think that you need this because if you're part of any group, you always need some type of tiebreaker. And especially for something like this, you need to have a tiebreaker. Now, the reason this is important is because this was actually there was concessions given to the Republicans in order to make this happen. Originally, it was supposed to be 7-4, with the Democrats having a larger share. But then they made it 50-50, and they made it Right. No. Look, when they refer to it as a 9/11 style commission, they're just using the words 9/11 as a framework. Like, that's what they're referring to. It's that type of investigation stuff. Since we don't have, it's basically, honestly, it's kind of closer to, like professional Benghazi investigations. It's not. They're not saying that what happened on January 6th was an equivalent to 9/11. That's the framework that they're using, because that's the last time we had a framework for something like this. It's not just saying that it's a 9/11 thing. But look, I think this sounds pretty good. My one issue has been the tiebreaker. But I'm glad that we actually, the sentence, current government officers or employees are prohibited from appointment. This is a very important piece. Now, when I originally covered this on my channel, must have been like the first week I was doing this. I talked about how important this piece was. And literally before today, I spent like 35, 40 minutes looking to find whether or not this was actually in it. Because this is going to make or break the committee. So now let's talk about Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy won't support the January 6th commission and sides with Republicans downplaying the insurrection. House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy announces Tuesday he posed an inquiry to investigate the January 6th attack on the Capitol, siding with Republicans who have tried in recent days to downplay or move on from efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Now, the problem with this is they are throwing this guy under the bus, Representative Katko. Also, they're going to make this worse for themselves. Let's say that a majority of the Republicans don't vote for this, or in the worst case scenario for them, let's say only 10 Republicans vote against it. People like McCarthy, Gosar, Louis Gohmert, Gates, Boebert, Green, like all the crazies. Let's say they vote against it, and they're the only ones. And then it dies in the Senate. If this bill dies in the Senate, they have to kill the filibuster immediately. If you cannot get 10 Republicans, it's not even 10 Republicans. So 7 of them already agreed that Donald Trump should be impeached for his actions that caused January 6th. So you would imagine those 7 would agree to having this commission. So you only need 3. Look, I'm not rehashing the impeachment. The reason the people were there were because of him. They all said it. He did do nothing wrong. There's a reason this has never happened before. No, look. Hold on, let me, one thing at a time. So, they weren't silent on it. They actually covered it a lot. What happened with the car attack on the Capitol, I don't know what that means. Are you going to quote, are you going to give me like a SoundCloud link? Anyway, no, I know, but are you sending me a SoundCloud link? Is that what's happening? Or are you just going to type it out? I don't really do music, so I don't know if I'm your guy for that. But anyway, for the car attack appeared to be somebody who was crazy, like a legitimately mentally ill person. As for Donald Trump getting convicted, of course he wasn't going to get convicted. It's impossible to get convicted as in this. Oh, you're going to have fun with the next one. Don't take it. Okay, she's not attacking the Capitol. No, you're wrong. Anyway, look, if this doesn't pass both the House and the Senate, first, we could immediately kill the filibuster because they don't care about finding out what happened on that day. And 2, every single person who votes against it should be immediately subpoenaed. because they're blocking this. They're like, could you imagine if the shoe was reversed? We don't even have to. There was 11 commissions on Benghazi. They won't even allow one. And this was them. They were the ones attacked. Look. I have a lot of right-wingers in this chat, which is kind of crazy. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I don't agree with any of this. Oh, are you? Oh, good. I'm glad you're not a right winger. The other ones, I know, DFKG, but no, I agree with the almost terrible. I was hoping Karen Bass would have been the VP. He's not running in 2024. He's just going to take your money. Oh, you know what? That reminds me. Tomorrow I'm going to do the no, you don't. I don't think this administration is terrible. But hold on. Let me get to the Marjorie Taylor Greene thing, and then after this video we can actually have a little bit of a chat because I want to eat lunch. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I don't know if any of you watched Attack on Titan, she looks like a female Titan. Was on the House floor, and so this was one of the big things that the commission has issues with. Is they're arguing that they should be looking into Antifa and Black Lives Matter instead of the people who actually attacked the Capitol. Now let's be clear, when it comes to people murdered by Antifa, there's one. And it was that one Trump supporter at that rally or at one of the BLM marches. And the guy who killed him was killed by the police. And Trump bragged about killing this guy. So that's where it is. So let's see what Marjorie Taylor Greene has to say.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent to address the House for up to 5 minutes and advise and extend my remarks.
So this is basically the extent of what she can do because she got thrown off of her committee correctly because she shouldn't be in Congress. And part of the reason she's in Congress is because no, I'm from New York. Part of the reason she's in Congress is because of how her gerrymandered her district is. And it wasn't even like the people she was running against were well, they're like, look, we told the people that she's crazy, and nobody seemed to care.
Objection. Gentlewoman's recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I rise in opposition to the commission to study the events of January 6th, as well as spending $2 billion in security supplemental. The question that comes
this woman, no, that's not even a little bit true. I think she has raised the most money of any candidate in the first quarter. She has massive support, which is not a good thing. She is basically a person who gets all of her information from Facebook. No, it's not that she's a rookie. If you compare the two people, she has first off, she doesn't understand how government works. Then she doesn't understand how reality works. Then she's like the only person standing up for Matt Gaetz, which doesn't make any sense if you're a QAnon person. No, I do not. I can't stand her. I'm not attempting to be in government. I didn't realize Marjorie Taylor Greene was going to be a sore subject for you people.
The riots that happened during the summer of 2020 after the death of George Floyd.
Okay, actually, no, we're not even going to have this.
All the damage caused to federal.
Yes, she did. So there was a press release from her, and I think it was Gosar and Matt Gaetz, where they were doing I don't. No, not a Russian Communist Party. No, it was an Anglo-Saxon party. Yeah. So when it comes down to, I don't even know if we're going to get to her video. So when it comes down to, the people who have actually gone to, how are you not a right winger? You're saying DeSantis 2024. Are you trolling? Mitch McConnell has done more damage to the Republic than almost any person imaginable. No, DeSantis should not be governor or president. Oh, Jesus. What the fuck is happening to my computer? All right. White lives 1 versus 3. Oh. Okay, yeah. No, I haven't watched The Sopranos. Most of my family did. Honestly, it's kind of weird. I don't really watch a lot of television shows. I did. What the hell was the last thing I watched? Oh, it was the Jupiter's Legacy on Netflix. And you're supporting DeSantis? All right, I'm pretty sure you're trolling. Let's see how many people are in chat. But what is? Hold on. Hold on.
This is an extra large T-shirt that I bought. As you can see,
I have to see what's in this clip. What did you send me? Oh, this one. Okay, you sent me the Rand Paul thing. Look, I know this is a thing for the right wing now. Is that currently Fauci is solely responsible for the COVID vaccine. I'm not going to trust Rand Paul and Devin Nunes over anybody else. The last time Rand Paul got into an argument with Dr. Fauci, he was wrong on every single point. Have I looked into directly debunking all of the points that? No, he's not a doctor. He's an ophthalmologist. I have seen the clip. I actually think I watched it live. The reason I haven't. Yeah, Rand Paul. Look, first off, Rand Paul is like the biggest jackass in Congress. He's the one who. It's always worth remembering that his neighbor got so pissed at him that he just went and kicked his ass. Like that's never happened to Ted Cruz. And it's Ted Cruz. Are you telling me if you were neighbors with Ted Cruz, you wouldn't want it on occasion? Marco Rubio doesn't exist. Marco Rubio is a fiction. Marco Rubio is about to get his ass kicked by Val Demings. Marco Rubio, I guess Marco Rubio is better than Rand Paul in the sense that he doesn't actively disbelieve in the government, and he's not always the one who shuts it down every time there's a budget issue. He's all, I mean, the worst thing that happened to Marco Rubio was Donald Trump running. He vanished. I don't know, he was supposed to be the future of the party. Yeah, he's not even Look, I don't even know what's a moderate Republican, because Cheney's not. No, I like a moderate Republican. A good moderate Republican is Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin is a moderate Republican. Marco Rubio is further to the right. Just where our country is so skewed for. No, Ted Cruz is not a moderate Republican. Ted Cruz is just a. I don't even know what Ben Carson is. I'm going to be honest. I do know Ben Carson had no business being in HUD, and the only reason he was in HUD was because he was like the only black person that Donald Trump knew, and that's why he was in HUD. But all right, since there's a lot of you here, I do want to plug myself again. No, he's not. So if you're here, guys, please follow. I know some of you have been here for a couple times. I hope you actually enjoy it. Look, he's not from the hood. Actually, I don't even know where he's from, but that's not it. That's not a good thing to say. Oh, thank you, Glaze. Thank you for the follow. No, actually, there's a really interesting story about Ben Carson that I'll get to in a second. But if you guys also like me here, I have a lot of I apply these videos to YouTube at least for another week or so before I multi-stream. But till then, you guys should check out all the other videos that I have on YouTube at Fresh Faces New Ideas, or you can follow me on Twitter at Faces Ideas. But for Ben Carson, so this is actually a true story. So in order to appeal to Republicans, Ben Carson made up this story that he used to be bad at math, and then one day an angel came down to him in his dreams and taught him math. And that's how he learned math, from Jesus. The man is like a world-renowned brain surgeon, but he learned math from an angel in his dreams. Like, that is just wild. Thank you, I'm not boosted. What is this? What did you just send me a link to? Oh, is this when he couldn't figure out how to walk onto the stage? I have to tell you, when I got into politics or started watching politics, it was because of the 2016 debate and the 2016 presidential race. And let me tell you, this shit was like pure comedy.
Nomination for president, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie.
Chris Christie thinks he's going to run. Yeah, I know what the gain of function is. Well, I'll talk to the gain of function in a second. Oh, he doesn't know to walk.
Texas Senator Ted Cruz.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, to be fair, there was no reason for what. Oh, whoops. There was no reason. Ben Carson shouldn't have been on that stage. In the same way that Andrew Yang shouldn't have been on the Democratic stage. They just weren't prepared for it. But the reason I haven't covered GF, the reason I haven't covered that clip is because I haven't looked into gain of function. And when I tried to look into it, it was a rabbit hole of like conspiracy theory stuff that I'm not going down. If there was more people that I trusted or people who were a little less crazy making this argument, then I would be more inclined to argue with it. If there's somebody who like a legitimate doctor who wanted to come on and explain. No. You should see my I have a Caitlyn. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna post this. Give me a second. I'm gonna let me find my my Caitlyn Jenner video because I have one. But no, Caitlyn Jenner is not a leftist by any stretch of the imagination. Where is this? Caitlyn Jenner's running for governor. This is why would you copy? Huh. Let me try it in this chat. Paste. No, all right. So, look, I know like what they're arguing about. I don't know enough about about gain of function to make an argument about it either way. Look, she is actually running. I think she has 6% approval right now. But yeah, no. It is still a her. I mean, if you're one of those people who doesn't want to say that it's a woman, you're just like a dick, basically. I mean, I'm pretty sure she had bottom surgery, but your principal. Yeah, no. It doesn't matter if your principal. Look, whether a person calls themselves a he or she is irrelevant to you. Yes, yeah, I do. It is unthinkable that Joe Biden is better than Trump. Do I think he's the best we could have done? No. I think he's been better than Trump. Hey, look. Wait, are you one of those No. Ben Shapiro is calling him is he calling a she? Yeah, Ben Shapiro, the fact that if you align with what Ben No. Donald Trump is holy crap, bro. No. If I knew how to start a chat through a Discord, we would have a conversation. But that is not true at all. Look, Ben Shapiro is he's anti-trans, he's a homophobe, he's an Islamophobe. So like the fact that he's calling Caitlyn Jenner by the correct pronouns is wild, because he flipped out when Ellen Page became Elliot Page. But no, so Donald Trump ran as a populist, but he did not govern that way. He governed as an authoritarian, but he ran as a no. Bro, please, yes, absolutely. I really appreciate that. I'm not boosted. Like, I don't know if you caught this, but I'm still new to Twitter. Okay, hold on. Let me just pull up Discord. And then I'll No. Donald Trump is not a all right, let me see if I can figure out how to do this. Add friend. Hold on. I'll get to the Donald Trump is a leftist state in a thing. And hey, Gubnist, yeah, hold on. There's a lot of things going on. All right, I'm not boosted. I sent you a request. We can talk. Maybe not today, or yeah, he's not. He's not a leftist. So look, I don't like Ben Shapiro, but I'm not doing the. No. Anyone who objectively understands what leftism is and looks at the things that Donald Trump did. What is this? What are you sending me? Oh, before we talked about the Hill. The Hill is going to say Donald Trump is a leftist because he ran on populist ideas. He didn't actually. He didn't actually push them. So that's why they're going to say he's a leftist. Watch it. All right, let's take a look at this. Space Force. I don't know. Is Space Force supposed to be a lefty thing? What is this? Oh, this is the Fauci thing. All right, I'll look at this another time. But I already told you. I have seen it. But I haven't. I saw the headlines. I haven't looked at it. No, look, you could be a proud American. He doesn't even believe in America. He doesn't believe in a patriotism. No, first off, patriotism is like a cancer. We have a cancer of patriotism in this country. Donald Trump, this idea of patriotism is just following whatever the leader says and just blind worship of the people who have power is not patriotism. All right, bro. All right, this is like you gotta watch what you're saying, bro. I'm gonna ban you if you say one more thing like that, because you've now said it on Ben Carson, you've said it on called Ben Shapiro. Yeah, like, look, I'm not gonna be dealing with that. I don't have a huge following, but I'm not gonna be dealing with people running like Nazi stuff. This is like the third time you basically. It's because globalism is a term that's generally being used for anti-Semitic stuff. And between that and the Geppetto and the Ben Carson thing. No. The term, when depending on how you're using globalism, is generally described as an anti-Semitic term, because they argue that those are the people who are in power. That's how it is usually portrayed. It's not, but not in the way that Donald Trump was pushing it. It was because he pushed it through Steve Bannon, and Steve Bannon is using it as a anti-Semitic thing. That's why it's not a globalism is not a yeah, it's a dog whistle. Thank you, Troll One. Donald Trump is absolutely an anti-Semite. So anybody who says that doesn't make you all right, I have to get into this. I haven't covered the Israel stuff. I don't know if I'm going to. Being pro-Israel does not make you you're okay. I'm ignoring that. Being pro-Israel does not make you an make you not a Semite. No. First off, you can be. Let me be clear. I am Jewish. You can oppose the government of Israel and not be anti-Semitic, because Israel is not all Jews. In the same way, you can argue against. In the same way, you can argue against. No. Arguing that because you don't agree with Israel, you're anti-Semitic or you're a safe-hating Jew is anti-Semitic. Israel is not Judaism. Israel is a country. Israel is not leftist either. Netanyahu is an authoritarian right-wing leader. He should be in jail. That's why he started the current conflict, because he needed to boost himself. But yeah, that's that is not accurate at all. No, support of Israel is not. He is not the equivalent. No, he's more closer to Trump. I mean, Netanyahu is right wing. Joe Biden is a moderate Democrat at best. They're not the same. Both of them are cancers. Joe Biden's not a cancer. He's fine. But no. But you have to understand that you can disagree with. Netanyahu's not a Democrat. By any stretch of imagination, his whole part, the Likud party is entirely basically right wingers at this point. But no, if you argue that being pro-Israel is the only way you can't be anti-Semitic, then being where's Rome? Greece? If you're against whatever country Rome is in, or Rome the country, then you're anti-Catholic. No. First off, that's not how parties work, because that implies that we only have just a Democratic Party because we're a democratic country. Rome is in Italy. All right, so if you're against Italy, then you're look, I'm in America. We don't do geography. But I don't know where to. But if you're against Rome, isn't that the Catholic Church? That's where Rome is where the head of the Catholic Church is. So if you're against Italy, then you're anti-Catholic. It's the same. That's the same argument. Disrespect to the Godland. What is the Godland? So I'm bad at geography, and I mean you always see those. Oh, Italy. I didn't disrespect Italy at all. I'm making a point. The Vatican City, wherever the Vatican City is. If you're against whatever area that is, that doesn't make you anti-Catholic. In the same way, being against the government of Israel doesn't make you an anti-Semite. It's just not the same. So I'm going to tell you this. We're going to end. Hold on. Right, you should vote for a party which do whatever the people want. So if you're in America, you should not vote for the Republican Party. And a perfect example is Missouri. Let me see if I can find that video. This is not it. Hold on, I'll give it to you guys in a second. Let me just find this video. Let me try to find this video. I have a video specifically about this. Okay. We'll get back to it. I can't find it right now. So, what just happened? No, Trump is not a Republican. So, if you want to argue about the party that actually does things, go look at what happens in Missouri. So, let me plug this again. Please, if you guys aren't following, follow me here. If you want some of the actual videos, just to get a better idea of what I've done, because like I said, I just started here. So my videos are going to take a little while to pick up, but I have like almost 120 videos on YouTube. If you want to see that, please go to Fresh Faces New Ideas at YouTube and follow me there. I have a video, something along the lines of Missouri is against their voters because they're not doing what the ballot initiative is, and then follow me on Twitter, Fresh Faces New Ideas. Look, I don't disagree with the Second Amendment. I think the current push of it is wrong. I have videos on this too. The data does not purport that having more guns makes you safer. I don't think we're going to have anyone deployed to Israel. They don't need us. No, because I'm not a single issue voter. Well, I am, but on that, but look, no. This idea that Democrats are going to just get rid of the Second Amendment is absurd. Because first off, that would be like almost impossible. Israel is at this point the strongest military in that area. They would have, if they wanted to, they would wipe Gaza off the map. Like immediately. They're like fucking around now, and they're gonna wipe. They basically have just obliterated Gaza. Kind of, yes. Geopolitically, we are, in part. No. There are certain you can still have access. So if you're arguing against some type of assault weapons ban, you should definitely check out. I have some videos just on the statistics of having more firearms doesn't make you safer, but the people have. The you can not have AR weapons and still be fine. You can still have access to shotguns and stuff. These aren't like things that are going to make or break us. But we should have limits on stuff. There's no reason to be able to just get a gun like you can in Texas now. You don't have to register, and you don't have to. You can just apply. You don't even have to. You just apply, and you can get a firearm. You don't have to be trained or any of it. No, it's not good. Look, I have a whole bunch of this. It's called look at my channel, Fresh Faces New Ideas, and look up gun control. Good guy with a gun myth. It's 2 parts. I've broken down the data. Having access to a firearm does not stop a mass shooting. It actually makes you more likely to kill somebody in your own family. We don't function with guns. What do you mean by function? A mass shooting every day? The amount of gun violence in this country is unbelievable. It is unacceptable. There is no comparison to the amount of gun violence we have. It's just not. Though I do want to say for all you guys, while I have a whole bunch of you here. Yeah, sure. Let me just plug this, and then it's while you're typing it out. I'm gonna be back probably tomorrow around 12:31 p.m. EST. And if you guys want to watch me, that's about when I'm going to do it. It's about 12:31 every day. So be sure to do that. Okay, now look. I understand the more mass shootings, but I'm talking about statistically having a firearm about making you more. I'm not. Look, I know what your argument is. It's that, but we're making separate arguments. My argument is having access to a firearm. The answer to solving the mass shooting problems and things like that is not more guns. Yeah, because when you have assault weapons, we used to have an assault weapon ban. If you go back and look at the assault weapon ban, the amount of mass shootings by assault weapons was dropped dramatically. Also, what do you need an assault weapon for? What do you need 100-round mags for? What do you need cop killing bullets for? Like, the idea that you need all access to all this firearm is just absurd. Because nobody is... This is not the argument I'm having. What's an assault weapon to definition? The assault weapons ban that we had that expired in 2004, that's the ban we should have. We should bring that back. Because that used to be that was effective. Yeah, he is both of those things. I'm not going to argue that. I'm not a Bill Clinton fan. I am going to let you guys know that we are going to end in... You can have good policies and be a terrible person. Donald Trump passed the First Step Act. He is both of those things. You can like the things that somebody does and they be a bad person. He is an awful person. But like I said, guys, we're going to end the stream in about 5 minutes. We're going to end it at 3. So if you want to, head out to any of my other channels, Fresh Faces New Ideas on YouTube, Fresh Faces Faces Ideas on Twitter, or you guys can follow me here. Yeah, but he's not really... Look, man. Politically, I'm a sock them. I'm a birdie bro. Yeah, so that's a lot of you. That's probably why a lot of you guys are disagreeing with me on things. But yeah, no, Birdie was my guy. I thought he should have won. But no, Donald Trump is not a. I mean, if that's your argument of a real person, he's not really smart. He doesn't have good. Thank you, Glazy. I appreciate it. I actually do have to say, for my third stream, I have no problem talking to you guys, and the beauty of this is, I have no there's not. It says I have 9 viewers, users in chat. There looks to be about 12 of you. There's a conflict between Morocco and Spain. No, I have not. I'm going to be honest. It's all right. That's the thing. All right. So, Dilos 02. I generally do more, like U.S. politics. I have not. Is this about the is this the extension of that border thing that was going on when one of the Spanish countries was like trying to become its own state? Is that what it's about? Because I can look into that. What is it? Morocco and Spain. Spain and Morocco. Oh, there's. Looks like there's a massive immigration thing. So Delos. So here's what I'll do. I'll look into that for tomorrow. What did I say I was going to cover tomorrow? I don't even remember. Answer what? Oh, no. I agree with Bernie because I agree with Bernie's policies. I don't do identity politics. So the things that I believe are, when I was looking for a candidate, I was looking for somebody. Oh, thank you, Delos, for following. If you're back here tomorrow between 12:30 and 1, that's when I'll start. If I haven't talked about it, I will look into the Morocco thing for you. But no. It's not because he's Jewish. It's the fact that he is Jewish. It's cool, but I believe in Medicare for all. I believe we should take money out of politics. I believe in a society that has is more just than the current society that we have. I agree with his policies, and let's be clear, I'm not stuck in one party. If I found a candidate who agreed on the right with the policies that I want, I would advocate for them. But that doesn't exist. So I don't. Yeah, I would prefer Bernie over other left wingers. I voted for him. The only one I would have So you love Richard Nixon? I haven't really looked into politics. No, Nixon was a criminal. I haven't actually seen his. I haven't looked into directly long enough back to see his policies. But yeah, I preferred Bernie. No, I didn't. I don't know. It has nothing to do with because he's Jewish. It's because of the policies. I mean, I'm closer to FDR than I believe I was to Nixon. I would have to look into Nixon. It's not because he's Jewish. I was for Bernie, and then I agreed if I was gonna settle for a second choice, it would have been Elizabeth Warren. Right? Like, look, yeah, until he got caught in like the dumbest scandal alive. It has nothing to do with. I don't do id poll. If you agree with the policies that I like, then I agree with them. I have to look into what exactly Nixon is. That'll be another stream. Maybe it'll be a weekend stream. But like I said, guys, we're gonna end here. I appreciate all of you who came in and started talking to me. I'll look at that another time. God bless. So, like I said, please follow me here so you can get updated when I go to this. You can follow me on YouTube at Fresh Faces New Ideas. You can follow me at Twitch at Twitter at Faces Ideas, and I'll be back tomorrow between 12:30 and 1. That's usually when I'm going to stream during the week. Normally I do weekend streams, but I can't this weekend. But I thank you guys for coming. I hope we had a good chat and you enjoyed it. And I'll see whichever one of you guys are tomorrow. But Dilos, if you pop in and I haven't talked about the Morocco thing, please remind me. But